Is your job ready for the student loan crisis? Why are we asking that? And what options do you have to keep from being ruined financially by your student loans? And if you find this information valuable, give me a like, share, and subscribe. And let's get into this. We're going to discuss a article from Future Magazine that highlights the impending student loan garnishments that are about to happen throughout the U.S. for those who are 9 months behind on their student loans. And this article highlights a couple of things that companies can do to help their employees in the midst of this crisis. And then we're going to look at one method in particular that many Americans can take to help them in the midst of the student loan crisis. So let's get into this article here. And this is going to be from, as I say, Fortune Magazine. Let's get, there we go. I like that one. All right, so let's do that one. I like that look right there. So this is from Fortune Magazine. Now, they're talking about the Trump administration's, we're about to start garnishing wages for defaulted student loan borrowers. These are the benefits businesses can offer employees to help them with their debt. Now, how do we get here? Well, student loan debt forgiveness has been a topic for the last, I almost feel like it was the major thing, that one of the major things that the Biden administration ran on. And so a lot of people were able to take advantage of that, but millions of borrowers still were not able to do that. Unfortunately, student loan borrowers were able to take advantage of repayment pause during the COVID pandemic, but that stopped in 2023. Biden wanted to cancel up to $20,000 in debt for qualified borrowers. That went back and forth into the Supreme Court, and that Biden proposal failed. That means collections are now in play. That DOE, the Department of Education, can garnish wages, your refunds, and federal benefits to get that money. And the reason why they're doing it is because they want to take the cost of people's student loans off of the shoulders of the taxpayers and put it back onto those who borrowed this money. Unfortunately, a lot of people are behind. 20% of student loan borrowers are delinquent. They're 90 days past due, according to TransUnion. 5 million people are defaulting, which means they're 9 months behind on their student loans, and they could potentially face wage garnishment to pay for the student loans. Now, this has been an issue for years. People haven't found a way to resolve it. The Trump administration has made this an issue more urgent by proposing these wage garnishments. There's several different ways that employers can help their workers with these student loan repayments. Some have proposed attaching their retirement benefits, educational assistance programs, and PTO exchanges. But they're saying, according to Fortune magazines, that this issue cannot be ignored by businesses because, you know, if they're going to garnish your wages, they got to process all that stuff. So they're in the middle of this issue as well. So let's talk about student loan contribution being attached to retirement plans. Many workers burdened by student loans face a tough financial trade-off: either reduce their debt or invest in the future. That means they may miss out on contributing to their retirement plans. The Secure 2.0 Act of 2022 aimed to fix that problem, whereas companies could take the funds that they would match employees' 401k contribution and put them towards student loans. When companies offer a contribution into retirement savings connection with their student loan payments, they're helping to protect the financial future of the employees who are largely sidelined and sitting out of their primary benefit that they offer, which is their 401k retirement match, according to the CEO of Candy Lily. The process, according to this article, could be pretty easy for employers to process. They're just repurposing the money. They're basically shifting that income that they're giving their employees to a different benefit. According to this one company, they did it's only 11% of Candy Lily customers have launched a student loan retirement match in connection with the Secure 2.0 benefit. And it says where 31% of their corporate clients offer this program, only 10% did it. So you might want to find out if the company has this available option. If you are facing wage garnishment for your student loans, you want to find out if your employer will do this and take advantage of it. All right. So now let's talk about PTO exchanges. Companies that offer a certain number of days of paid time off, they could consider exchanging that unused time to putting that towards student loan debt. Now, I don't know how much PTO people have. If you're working with 2 weeks of PTO, I don't know how it's going to help you. Now, if you got more PTO, the benefit costs the employee very little. They've already budgeted the time into their balance sheet. The drawback that can come from that is that all the paperwork that's got to be done. They got to work with state laws. And then critics of this method highlight that your work-life balance gets out of whack. You just working all the time, and you leave yourself vulnerable if you get sick or something like that. So I don't. And plus, like I said, how much PTO you got? Now I've been at the company I've been with, so I got a little bit of PTO. But the people just coming in and just starting, they can only exchange so much PTO. Now, it talks about provide financial planning counseling. One of the easiest, most impactful ways to provide help to people with student loans is offering financial counseling. Student loan borrowers often have more than one loan in play at a time with different interest rates and timelines. That can make it very difficult to figure out how to budget all that stuff and which loans will be prioritized. So they talk about businesses offering financial counseling to come up with the best strategy to pay these loans down. So it's very interesting in educational assistance programs. Um, if you get this, so some companies, what this is talking about, some companies will, if you go to school, especially if you go to school for something related to the company that you work for, they'll contribute employee assistance. They may reimburse tuition. Businesses are allowed to contribute $52.50 per employee per year towards tuition, books, or supplies. The program was expanded to include the abilities to put this money for companies to put this money to paying off student loan debt. So that's another option according to the IRS. Many employers have questions how they can make sure that money is being used as intended. That's because employees mostly self-certify that they spent the money on loans, and businesses need to find an efficient way to verify without invading privacy that these student loans are being paid off. So they got to figure that process out, how they can make sure the student loan debt is being paid down with their tuition reimbursement. So those are a couple of interesting ways to deal with the student loan garnishment. But now there's one way that you may want to think about. It's a process called income shifting. I use that term loosely with an employer, but this is a strategy that everyday people can use on their job to shift money that they are putting towards, especially their over withdrawn federal taxes burden. They can put that money towards debts like student loan debt. Now, how does the strategy work? Well, just think about it. The average refund is just under $3,000, or right at $3,000. Imagine instead of having that money withheld from your check, you take that money and had that put back into your checking account, back into your bank account, and you put that more into paying down your student loan debt. That could help out tremendously. And some people wonder, well, is that going to make you owe taxes? No, because there's a tool that the IRS has available that prevents you from doing that. All you do is follow the instructions, and it prevents you from doing that. It actually helps you have the exact amount of taxes withheld so that you don't be lacking come next April 15th. But a lot of people are having a refund And that's basically an interest-free loan to the government. They could be having that money work for them, like paying down their student loan debt to help them. Now, has anybody done this before? Well, let me show you an example of a couple that used this strategy to put an extra money into their account, and they paid down a lot of debt. It wasn't student loan debt in this example, but just as burdensome. A debt that's just as burdensome that it paid off. Let me show you.
The McBrides, and we have been a part of this wonderful company, My Econ, for 6 years. We're both EVP Infinities with the company. We use Strategy 1, which is cash flow. We cash flow, me and my wife, like $750 back by correcting our W-4s. We took that money and I paid off $12,000 in back child support debt. And we've been using that money to build wealth and start investing.
Yes, once we learned that strategy of taking the money and that we were getting from our paying to our taxes, we've now been able to pass that generational wealth down to our children, and not only will our children benefit, but so will our children's children. Thank you.
All right, powerful strategy. They had $700 put back into their budget, and they paid down child support debt. Now they can pay down child support debt. That strategy can help you pay down your student loan debt. So if you want to learn more about income shifts in this strategy, I'm gonna put the link in the description. That's gonna take you to my website. It's gonna teach you more about that. But check that out. And if you found this information valuable, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and thanks for watching.